Hey there, FPV pilots. It's Smooth Virus, Call Sign Virus, here with you for the first time in 2018. So, doing an update today, kind of let everyone on my channel know what's been going on. Basically, I'm still kind of on my winter break. I haven't flown since last December, so been taking some time off from flying RC and flying FPV, and I usually do this in the winter. Sometimes I'll fly a little bit in the winter time, but I didn't really do it this year. It got cold early. It got cold, like usually around in this area in the DMV. It gets cold right around Christmas time usually, but this year it got cold early, so there wasn't really much good weather after the first week of December. And now we're getting to the time of year when I'm starting to really miss flying, and I really want to get back in the air, but the weather's usually kind of crummy, and it was not good flying weather this weekend. It's not terribly cold. In fact, it's kind of warm right now, but it's been wet and gloomy. And last weekend, well, last Monday was a holiday, and it was the same. It was cold and wet and gloomy. We did have one beautiful day during the week this week when it was like, I think it was 82 degrees. But the problem is we get all these very nice days that would be great to go flying, but it's during the week when I'm at the office here in the city and I can't really go fly. So anyhow, while I've been away, I've managed to get some gaming time in. Play a little Stellaris and a little bit of Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, I didn't game at all during the flying season last year because I was either flying or editing videos. So I played some video games here and there, but I think I enjoy flying more. Getting out to the field, flying with my friends. Um, Actually, speaking of it, I think it was like 54 this evening when I went out to the run errands. This is one of the warmest Februarys I ever remember here in DC. Usually February here is like the coldest, most wintry winter month that we have. But yeah, we had one day it was 82 degrees. It's actually been really warm. So there have been a couple of good flying days, but then the problem was, let's see, last weekend I ate something. I think I ate a bad pizza. I ordered a pizza and oh my goodness. I didn't get like really sick, but I couldn't eat anything for the rest of the whole weekend, and I barely got out of the house. I just kind of spent all weekend drinking Pepto-Bismol and ginger ale until the President's Day on Monday, and by the time I felt good, the good weather was gone. So any opportunities you get weather-wise to fly this time of year, you got to take it because you don't get many. And we're actually coming up here in a week or so. We're going to start getting to what I call the windy season. Usually March and April in this area are really windy, and it wasn't windy today, but it's once we get into March, we're getting in the time of year when we get a lot of wind, and that of course makes it tough to fly. So anyhow, when I'm not conquering aliens or robbing jewelry stores in Grand Theft Auto, I've been working on my winter builds. Project BFG is coming along. I've been working on that for the past 2 or 3 weeks or so, and I'll throw some photos up. Right now, I'm working on the wing. I'm getting the control horns installed, getting the servos installed. I need to do some soldering work and get some servo extensions because those wings are big, buddy. it's a 3.7 meter wing, so there's a lot of servo extensions that are going to have to go in there. Those Turniggy servos I got for that glider are actually pretty nice. They're like really smooth and really quiet. There's a big difference from the cheap Emax servos that I've been putting in all my foamies for the last couple of years. But yeah, it's coming along. I need to order a Pitlab OSD from Poland, and I need to get a buddy flight for the Pitlab because one of my flying partners, Coop got a Pitlab, so I'm gonna get a buddy flight so we can do that, and we'll demo that on the channel once we get that going. I need to get the propeller and the spinner and the ESC. There's a whole bunch of parts that I still need for that plane. My goodness, it's an expensive build, man. It's taken me a while. You know, I've started buying parts. I think I bought that plane 2 years ago. So I've been slowly building up parts for that build for 2 years. So that'll give you an idea of how long it's taken me. But I'm determined to get it flying, hopefully by like May. Certainly by May. Yeah, I want to get it going by then, at the very least. So working on that, and let's see what else we got here. Oh, so on Project BFG, on that glider, on my Aether, I was thinking about, and I think I talked about it in one of my vlogs, replacing the canopy with a 3D printed canopy that had room for a pan and tilt mechanism and a spot to mount a Runcam HD2. At this point, I've pretty much decided to abandon that idea, simply because of the fact I don't need a Runcam HD2. I'm going to get a Runcam split instead, and that way I can do my FPV and my HD video recording all on the same camera. It's going to save weight and make it easier to just poke a hole through the canopy that I have and run the pan and tilt through that, and then I'll put the Runcam split on top of that. So the Runcam split mini just came out. I'll have to watch some of the reviews. I know Painless 360 did one. I'll have to check and see if Bruce did one, and see what they think, and then I may get the Runcam split. I think it's the Runcam split mini. It just came out. It's not even on ready-made site yet, but it is available from Runcam. So the bad news is HobbyKing discontinued the Aether a couple of weeks ago. So I don't know if that's bad for me or bad for HobbyKing, because I'm sure once we, if knock on wood, if the Maiden goes well and we get it flying, and I'm reasonably certain we will, we're gonna have some nice HD video, air to air. We'll send the Mavic up to follow the Aether around, and we'll get some nice video of it flying around, but you're not going to be able to get one from HobbyKing. And that kind of stinks, because that was really the only, that was really the cheapest by far full house balsa and molded fuselage glider you could get in that kind of wingspan. There's the Fascination from Topmodel CZ, but I think that model is $600 just for the airframe alone. So yeah, it's a lot more than the Aether, and the Aether has a bigger fuselage pod, so if you're doing FPV, you've got more room for a bigger battery and FPV gear in there. Now I know people are using the Topmodel CZ Fascination, I believe I've got that right, for FPV, but you're gonna spend a couple $100 more, or at least 250 more Wow, that's a lot of money. Everything glider is expensive. I love gliders, but you know, once you get out of the foamy gliders and get to like the balsa ones with, you know, all the special servos and everything else, the cost just, oh my goodness, it just goes up exponentially. It's way more expensive than putting together a foamy. So that's about all I have on Project BFG and the HobbyKing Aether. I have also installed a mount for the Runcam HD on my C1 Chaser. So this year you're going to see some HD video shot from the Chaser, and hopefully I won't destroy it putting that through the tree gaps at Coop's place down in Virginia. But you know, c'est la guerre. Actually, since I'm going to try and upload this tonight, if you go on Banggood before Wednesday, the 28th, the C1 Chaser and the Mini Talon are both on sale right now, so get them while they're hot. I think the C1 Chaser's at $38. And if I wasn't trying to save money to get parts for the Aether, I'd probably get a spare Mini Talon and a spare C1 Chaser myself. But anyway, so on the Goblin build on my Strix Goblin, it's pretty much ready to go. There's a couple of small issues I need to figure out. The servos are chattering. I need to take the wings back off and try either braiding the servo wires or put some toroid or ferrite cores in there to try and stop it from doing that. Whenever I have the VTX powered up, it does that. And I need to throw some tape on the leading edges, and it's pretty much ready to go. So should be able to maiden that very soon. Probably the next good flying day we get, I'll be able to do the maiden flight on the Goblin. I'm also working on my wing. A little T there. I'm also working on my wing Z84. I've got iNav set up for that. I did cover that in a previous vlog about getting power to the servos, but I got some tips in the comments about that, so should be good to go there. I'll probably finish that before the Aether's done, because I actually have all the parts I need to get the Z84 or the Z84, as my friends on the other side of the pond like to call it. So, well, anyway, I have all the parts needed to get that back in the air. So I should be able to get that first flight of 2018 in pretty soon. I did check the weather for next week. It looks like it's going to be windy, but we might be able to fly. There was one day I was looking at, I think it was Sunday, they said it was going to be sunny, 12 mile per hour winds. 12 miles per hour isn't too bad. That's actually good for, that would actually be good for the maiden of the Goblin, because that'll give us a good headwind to launch into, make it easier. It'll make it easy to launch a Mini Talon. Since most of my models are pretty fast anyway, 12 miles an hour isn't too much to deal with. So that's about it for updates. Now, I do have some bad news to share, but that's going to have to wait for the next video, because it's a topic all on its own. So anyway, I'll be seeing you guys again soon. You're going to see another video after this with the bad news. Problems. It's not anything to do with me personally or any of the planes I'm working on, but it is an issue. So anyhow, you guys have a super fine one, and we'll see you again very soon, and hopefully we'll be in the air very soon, and you'll be seeing some flying video. All right, have a good one. Later. And now I've got you looking over my shoulder. Daggone it.
Well, no, I'm not even in there.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so I was waiting for